Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my first mock draft of the 2026 offseason. Really excited to get this one going. Combine just wrapped up and it's actually been pretty interesting. Got a lot of high risers, a lot of great athletes, but it's a very interesting draft because it's not a super great draft, but there's a lot of talent in not positions of need like safety or running back, like things like that. It's just talent at positions that NFL teams don't necessarily value. So it's a really going to be an interesting draft, and we'll see what happens. A lot of good options at pick 7, so I'm really curious to see what happens there. I don't think a trade back is a realistic scenario. So we're just gonna pick a 7 and see who the best player there is. I'll evaluate some of his options and also take a look at our other picks. So without further ado, let's just get started. All right, we are at pick number 7. There are a lot of great options. These first 3 guys are some I would look at. David Bailey, Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Love. One thing about Caleb Downs is there was some news thing that came out from a decent source that he has some injury history, like a degenerative ACL or something. So just some injury issues, potentially injury concerns. Caleb Downs could be a guy, especially at safety, that could drop a lot. And I don't know if I would want to take the risk on him. Really great player. Maybe not the best the biggest athlete, like genetically, but he's an amazing player. I think he would do really well as long as he stays healthy, which is the big question mark. David Bailey, really great edge rusher, really fast. Jeremiah Love would just be a game changer on offense. Probably not the pick we need the most. We did have a really good running game last year, but we need that number one guy in the backfield potentially. I'll see who else is here. But those are the 3 guys that jump out to me immediately. See who other people picked. Yeah, some of these guys I may have wanted here. But even if guys like I may have wanted, like Arbor Reef, Ruben Bain, Sonny Styles, like these guys are all gone. There are still several players we can take at this spot. So it's not the end of the world. Take a quick look. Yeah, Jeremiah Love, if I go running back, that's the pick. Definitely could be a solid option. Makai Lemon's a solid receiver here. Probably won't go tight end. Let's see. Edge rusher. If we're going edge rusher, it's gonna be David Bailey. Yeah, linebacker doesn't drop off. Corner, we could go corner. I think we could get some later, or maybe in free agency more likely. Obviously, Caleb Downs is there. A lot of great safeties. These top 4 or 5 safeties are really solid. So that's also something you can get later in the draft. So these are our. Let's go to all. These are our top 3 guys: David Bailey, Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Love. I'd be happy with any of them. I think I won't go Caleb Downs just because of the injury. I hope he does do really good in the league and hopefully doesn't fall too much, but that injury thing is a little scary for a lot of teams. So David Bailey or Jeremiah Love. This is a really interesting discussion because obviously edge rusher is our biggest position of need. But you also need to want to look at the best player, get a playmaker for Jaden Niels and Jeremiah Love. So this is a really interesting thing to think about. I think I made my decision. I'm gonna go with Jeremiah Love, just for the one of the best players in the draft, probably the most talented offensive prospect in the draft. Can just change hopefully be like a Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson type, like number 1 back that can just go crazy in the league. I think that's just more important to get the best blue chip talent, best player here, no matter what the position is. That's why I'm drafting Jeremiah Love. Alright, we are at pick 71 now. Our first pick was Jeremiah Love. So let's see what's available now. I'll look on both sides, but I definitely want to focus a lot on defense in this draft. And I think in general the Commanders should just focus on a lot of defense. But I'll take a look at the offensive side, see any receivers. There's some solid options here. But we also could potentially wait. But there are a couple solid guys here that we can maybe get. Not too focused on this. I'll worry about. I don't know much about these offensive line. We don't need offensive line that much. So let's go to the defensive side. Most likely looking at a defensive pick here. See the edge rushers. I've heard of this guy, Dave Yickness, Derek Moore, Dennis Sutton. Yeah, edge rusher is probably where I'm going to go. There's a lot of solid guys still left, but we also could wait a little bit. But I may take one here at 71. Let's see what else there is. Linebacker. Couple guys. Corner. Couple guys here too. There's some solid guys you can get in these later picks as well. Check the safeties. Um, hmm. The problem is we just don't have a lot of picks. Not having a second and not having a fourth round pick is really tough, and it was worth it to get Laramie Tunsil. That's where those picks went. But not having a second and fourth round pick are just really tough. To get some of the guys in this range. So let's see. I'm probably looking at edge rusher or safety. I'm pretty sure is what I want to do. All right, I think here I'm going to go with Dani Dennis Sutton. Solid edge guy I've heard about, and I think edge rusher is definitely something we should address early in the draft. Even if we get someone in free agency, you could still get someone early in the draft with one of our first two picks. So I'm going to go with Dani Dennis Sutton here at pick 71. We're at 146. Let's check on the offense a little bit. I don't know too much about some of these guys. Probably could wait on receiver, but I would maybe look to get a receiver with one of our other day 3 picks. Let's go back to the defensive side. He's got edge rusher. I don't know too much about this linebackers. Corners. I don't know. So it gets kind of tough. I really honestly don't know too much about these guys. So let's see. Yeah, we'll go receiver here. I feel like I know a little more about some of these receivers. Let's see. Alright, this pick I'm gonna go with Jalen Husky from Maryland. I haven't heard too much about these players honestly, but I think this is a guy I've heard of. Should do pretty solid, so I'm gonna pick him at pick 146. At pick 187, look at maybe receiver, maybe linebacker, maybe corner. Those are probably the places I'll look now. Let's see. Some receivers. I think I'm gonna go receiver here. Get a guy I think I've heard some good things about. Cyrus Allen from Cincinnati. I think he's solid. All right, we have 2 more picks, 198 and 222. Like I said, I don't exactly know, but maybe we'll look at linebacker or corner. Let's see. Alright, for this pick, I don't really know. The one guy I've heard of is Owen Heineke from Oklahoma. So I feel like he's at least notable enough for me to give him a pick. Sorry, I don't really know too much about these later draft picks. Like I said, it's not the best draft, but we can still find some guys here, and hopefully Owen Heineke is one of them. Alright, we are at our final pick. I'll probably stick with defense. We did get a couple offensive picks. So we'll see what happens. Alright, for my last pick, I'm probably going to stick with the defensive side. I need to look at the corners here. Let's see. 5'10", 5'11". Let's see. These corners are so small. I think I'll go with Jaden Kennedy. I think it's a corner I may have heard a little bit about, so we'll just go with him and hopefully that will work out. Alright, we reached the end of the draft. Thank you guys for watching this first mock draft. Like I said, sorry I don't know exactly everyone, but I think I turned out decent. At pick number 7, which is the real dilemma because there's so many good options and we just don't want to pick wrong. We went with Jeremiah Love, probably one of the best players in this draft. May not be in a position of need, but a blue chip prospect that could really help us get that solid number 1 back in the backfield. And another weapon for Jaden Daniels. We finally addressed edge rusher at pick 71 with Dani Dennis Sutton. We got a much needed safety in Jalen Husky, receiver in Cyrus Allen, and then got more on the defensive linebacker and corner, Owen Heineke and Jaden Kennedy. I think also with all these positions, I'll do another mock draft after free agency, so these could change. But even if we do address these positions in free agency, maybe except for running back, but most of these other positions, we could definitely grab another guy, both in free agency and the draft. So don't be surprised if they do that. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to see what they do in free agency and the draft. But for now, this is my prediction. This is my first one. Hoping to do at least 2 more. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.